Springs Culture Cast is brought to you by the Smoke Brush Foundation for the Arts, by UCCS TheaterWorks production of The Santaland Diaries, by Newspeak, by a generous grant from the B. Vradenberg Foundation, and by viewers like you. Thanks for your support. Check us out on Pikes Peak Library District, Channel 17, every night at 6 o'clock, and on KRCC 91.5 FM, Monday through Friday at 11:55 a.m. and 8 o'clock p.m. Hi, this is Craig Richardson with Springs Culture Cast. We're at the Lasko Fine Art Gallery in downtown Colorado Springs, taking a look at the Herman Raymond show, 20 years of Herman Raymond. Let's take a look and see what we can figure out about this scene. Tell us a little bit about your style and your art. What are you trying to convey, and how are you doing?
It's very hard to categorize me because I use more than one style. I'm not total realism or impressionism or abstractionism. I use all of it, and that's what comes out. But I don't sit there and try to do it. Let's say mentally. It just happens as I work. I don't think it's spectacular or anything, but it's hard to categorize you. So they call me a abstract impressionist, which I don't believe, but that's what they call me. But it's better than a dirty name.
Exactly.
But,
so what is your background in art? How long have you been doing it, and how'd you get your start?
Well, I'm 83 years old now.
Okay.
And I really started when I got out of the service, World War II. Remember World War II, folks? But anyway, I had my GI Bill. I took advantage of it. And I went to art school because I always had a flair for it. And that's how I got involved in art in general. I had some very good teachers,
Did you come back to Colorado Springs from World War II?
No, I went to New York where I was born and lived. And I had a tail gunner. I was on a B-24. Tail gunner who died. And I promised him that I'd go see his mom, which in Santa Fe. And I did, and I liked the area so much that I sort of stayed around and ended up here with you. What?
How long have you been in Colorado Springs?
Probably since 1950.
And tell us about Colorado Springs in 1950 and the art scene then and there.
Well, I'll tell you, I looked like I was from New York, and the cops picked me up regularly. You know what I mean? I looked like the guy who was guilty. First, but I loved it. It was a quiet and beautiful place, and gave me a lot of room to paint. A lot of things, I was painting New York for 2 years after I got out of here, So I started to see other things, and I liked the emptiness of it and the beauty of it, and I just started painting that, as you can see,
So back in those days, were you friends or acquaintances with, like the Archie Music and
yes,
the Hellers?
I know all of them, sure.
What was that period of time like here in Colorado Springs?
Everybody painted Colorado. They were Coloradans, if that's the word for it. And I sort of fell in with the group. I saw it too. And we all painted it and knew each other and didn't like each other too much. No, I'm just making that up. But, I think it was like any place else that you would live. You find people who interest you and you interest them. And before you know it, you're doing, everything together. I think people are people in any era that we go through. We want the same thing. We want friends, and we want our girlfriends, and we do the same thing that we would do anywhere. Sometimes in places it's easier, sometimes it's not so easy. But Colorado was in the process of growing, and you could see it, and you knew it. I can remember when I went out to Austin Bluffs and got lost in there, I was saying, help, help, I couldn't get out. You know what I mean? Now it's housing and the rest of the area is developed. I started as an abstractionist because in the 40s, that's what artists were doing, and I was influenced. And as I grew, I just opened up areas that I was unfamiliar with it and did a lot of experimentation. There are things that, I felt belong to the way I work and other things that I left behind. I would like to make myself more interesting than I am, but I think I'm a very average person, an artist, I just have funny hair, that's about it, but...
Me too.
You too? Yeah.
What kind of time frame does what we see on the walls represent? I mean,
well, they say 20 years because it's an easy number to come by, but I'm sure it's much more than that. This is only a piece of about 200-300 paintings that I have. And they picked out things they thought were more convenient for somebody from Colorado, as opposed to a lot of European things that I do and stuff. So I went along with it. It's their show, not mine. I'm just the actor. Let's see, at 83, I don't know how much longer I have to go. So I'm trying to leave a lot of stuff for my wife so she can auction them off downtown. She likes that, man. When I wake up in the morning, she says, "How do you feel?"
So tell us about what made you folks decide to do the Herman Raymond show.
Well, it was a really great opportunity that Jeff Lasko, the owner, had been a longtime student of Herman Raymond's, and he just saw all of the collection that Herman had sitting in his house, and he really wanted to have the ability to show the Colorado Springs community how great his paintings were, because he hasn't had a show in so long in the Springs, not a one-person show anyways. And we just kind of said, "Would you mind?" And he said yes, and it was as simple as that, which is really great.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell us a little bit about the gallery. How long has the gallery been around, and what is the aim of the gallery?
The gallery's been around since the beginning of 2007, and it had started out as really a pet project for Jeff, for him to kind of get his work into the Colorado Springs area. And once I came aboard, I said I would really like to do a lot of different shows. And so I've been planning shows for all of 2008 to bring in some really great other local artists and give them a venue to be able to sell their work within the Springs community.
So, and this Herman Raymond show goes through December, correct?
December 31st will be the last day that it'll be open.
Do you know yet what's coming up after that?
I'm hoping, knock on wood, for Sushi and Tracy Felix to do a show for the two of them, and then maybe do a Susie Heyer and then a Jean Gumper.
What do you think the importance of having kind of smaller independent galleries to an arts community is? I mean, what?
I think it would basically be a good thing. The more you have, the less so incredulous large things, you know what I mean? Which makes you feel a little smaller. The smaller they are, the better you can see how your work, when it's condensed, you know what I mean, comes through. It's like reading a good novel, It's, sometimes it's just too much. They're saying too much. You want to break it down a little bit.
So what are you working on now, and how much do you paint right now? I mean,
every day,
really?
If I can, and I paint outside. So I enjoy outside. I listen to the birds, feel the sun, paint paintings, and it's a wonderful moment. Then I go in and have to eat my wife's cooking, and that's not so wonderful, but she's getting better. But she'll love that.
Springs Culture Cast is a sponsored project of Fractured Atlas, a nonprofit arts service organization. Contributions in behalf of Springs Culture Cast may be made payable to Fractured Atlas and are tax deductible to the extent permitted by law. Please visit springsculturecast.com to find out how you can make a quick and easy donation that will help keep this program on the air.